If you pulled up to the Richfield Oil gas station on Hollywood Boulevard and Van Ness in the 1940s, you'd probably just see a smiling young guy in a crisp white uniform offering to check your oil or fill your tank. But behind the smile, behind the polished chrome pumps and friendly handshake, was a man who quietly held the deepest, dirtiest, and most dangerous secrets in all of Los Angeles. His name was Scotty Bowers. Most people thought he was just another ex-Marine trying to make ends meet after the war. But what they didn't know was that this unassuming gas station attendant had become the go-to man for some of the most powerful figures in Hollywood. The stars, the studio bosses, the political elites, even European royalty. The gas station was a front. Scotty was the real business, and business was booming. Hollywood at the time was a place of strict image control. The studios had entire departments built to manage every photo, every headline, every rumor. If a star was gay, addicted, having an affair, or just wanted something outside the norm, the fixers would step in, clean it up, and keep it out of the papers. But even the fixers had their limits. That's where Scotty came in. He wasn't just running hookups, he was running a safety valve, a private, invisible network where people could get what they needed without judgment, without exposure, and without risk. Whether you were Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, Spencer Tracy, or the Duchess of Windsor, if you had something to hide, Scotty was the guy you called. And the wildest part? He didn't even charge for it. He said he wasn't in it for the money. He just liked helping people be themselves in a world where everything was fake. The way it worked was simple. You'd pull up to the gas station, say the right words, and Scotty would take care of the rest. He had a rotating group of friends, mostly other young men, some former military, some actors, some just looking for a way to survive, who were willing to meet these high-profile clients in whatever way they needed. Discretion was everything. No records, no paper trail, no names exchanged. Sometimes it was arranged on-site in a small trailer behind the station. Other times it was at upscale hotels, private mansions, or studio-owned properties. Scotty never kept a book, never blackmailed anyone, and because of that, he earned the trust of the most paranoid, high-profile people in the world. They knew he could be trusted, and in a city where trust was nearly impossible to find, that made him untouchable. It wasn't just sexual favors. Over the years, Scotty became a kind of underground concierge to the Hollywood elite. He connected people not just for pleasure, but for protection. Stars who needed abortions, safe houses, secret medical treatment, or just someone to talk to without fear of being exposed. Scotty quietly arranged it all, and he never asked questions. He didn't care who you were, what you wanted, or how powerful you were. Everyone was treated the same. That's what made him different. In an industry obsessed with hierarchy, Scotty operated in the shadows, where none of that mattered. He was the man everyone knew, but no one acknowledged. A ghost with a Rolodex. Scotty claimed, years later when he finally broke his silence, that he had arranged discreet encounters for names like Cary Grant, Rock Hudson, and even Katharine Hepburn, who he said preferred the company of women. He said Prince Edward, the Duke of Windsor, was one of his clients. He said he provided companionship for major studio heads, producers, and directors. These weren't just rumors. People who knew Scotty believed him. Gore Vidal backed him up. So did several other insiders who were still alive when his memoir, Full Service, came out in 2012. And none of the estates of the people he named ever sued. That silence? That was its own kind of confirmation. The whole operation might have stayed buried forever if Scotty hadn't decided to tell his story late in life. He didn't speak out for money or fame. He was already in his 80s. He just didn't want to die with all those secrets inside him. He teamed up with Lionel Friedberg to write the book, and then became the subject of a documentary, Scotty and the Secret History of Hollywood, directed by Matt Tiernauer. And that's when the floodgates opened. For the first time, the public got a glimpse into the underground world that had operated right alongside the golden age of Hollywood. The gas station, the trailers, the phone calls, the clients, it was all real. And it made people rethink everything they thought they knew about the stars of that era. The tragedy of it all is how necessary Scotty's work was. He didn't create the need, he just filled the void. The studios, the media, and even the government were complicit in creating a culture of silence, repression, and control. Being gay could end your career. Getting pregnant out of wedlock could ruin your life. Seeking help for addiction or mental health made you look unstable. So people turned to Scotty because they couldn't turn to anyone else. And that's the legacy he left behind. Not just the secrets, but the compassion. In a town full of masks, he helped people breathe for a few minutes without theirs. When Scotty died in 2019, he was 96 years old. And up until the very end, he was still full of stories. But there's no telling how many secrets he took to the grave. He never kept photos, never wrote anything down. Everything was stored in his mind, and once he was gone, that vault closed forever. Still, what he did share painted a picture of Hollywood that was far more human and far more heartbreaking than the fantasy shown on screen. His life wasn't scandalous because of the sex. It was scandalous because of the truth. The story of Scotty Bowers isn't about gossip. It's about how far people had to go to feel safe in a system built to control them. He didn't change the world, but for thousands of people, he made life bearable. And that might be the biggest secret of all. Behind the legend, behind the whispers, behind the scandal, he was, above everything else, a good man in a bad system.